Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Haney, physical
And
therapist.
together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Well, in our opinion, of course, Bob, but what's the topic today?
Brad, today we're going to talk about, I say Quervains.
It's really the Quervains.
Quervains. I think he is closer to saying it right.
Whatever it is, what are we talking about?
Brad, this is a tendonitis or tenosynovitis
Ooh,
that actually occurs right at the base of your thumb or along the radial side of your forearm, so along in here. Quite often this comes from overuse of the thumb. So texting, it's also called BlackBerry thumb, but nobody uses a BlackBerry anymore, so it's just
outdated.
we just call it texting thumb. Sorry, BlackBerry fans. The other thing is, like, if you use a scissors a lot, hammer a lot.
Sure.
Did you want to show your wheelchair, Brad?
Yeah. When people push a lot of wheelchairs around, and here we got our patients right here. How you doing, big guy? But when you push here and you're pushing, especially if you go over bumps and stuff, that part of your wrist is really getting stressed. That tendon takes a lot of stress, and that's repetitive stress on the wrist. From little things like texting to something like this.
Right. I got it, Brad, one time when I was a waiter when I was in physical therapy school, and I carried plates like this, and I had to learn to carry it this way because
stress
So that's one thing you can do is obviously take the stress off the area. There's splints or braces you can buy that are at Walmart that kind of go over the whole wrist, but that's not what we're talking about today, Brad. We're going to talk about actual treatments for it. So you can also ice, obviously.
Right, if it's in the acute phase, it's very sore, you're gonna splint and ice probably.
Yeah, and we just did a video on ice massage, so.
Right.
So let's say we're gonna treat this one, you're gonna treat this one yourself. The thing that you wanna try is you wanna try to do a cross fiber friction massage. I'm gonna show you this, very simple, big words, but really very quite simple to do. Get your hand so that it's in a slightly flexed, bent position like this.
Yeah, here's flex, this is extension, we went down.
Right, just get supported, you know, just like I support the Vikings.
As hard as it wants to be.
They support me. All right, so you're gonna take your fingers, you can go one over the other or two right side by side, all right, and you're gonna find the tender spots, and I'm gonna go right across it like this. Now you're gonna start off very light, and if this is just too much, and if you're doing this and it starts getting worse and worse and worse and worse, you still gotta ice then.
Right.
Ibuprofen, all these things that can help calm the inflammation down. It's too soon for it then.
Right.
But if you can tolerate it, you go ahead and you start rubbing across the area.
And how do they know what area, how can you find it?
You find the area of tenderness, but quite often what you're going to see here is, I don't know, can you pick that up, Nancy? That's the anatomical snuff box, they call that.
There, right?
The reason they call it snuff is they used to put powdered tobacco in there and people would sniff it out.
This is like about 100 years ago or so.
Maybe it was in your day, Brad, I don't know.
Oh no,
But anyway, we got, if I don't remember all the muscles, but extensor pollicus longus, extensor pollicus brevis, extensor, or abductor pollicus brevis, I believe.
They don't care about that.
They don't care about that. But these tendons, here and here.
Right. And really, this is the one that's probably going to be the one that's the more sore, is my understanding with this particular.
There's two right there, so.
Right, yeah.
All right, so again, you're gonna rub right across it. You can rub a long time, Brad. If it can tolerate it, you can go, believe it or not, Syriacs used to go up for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But obviously you probably won't have that much amount of time. It's a good one to do when you're sitting and, you know, idly waiting somewhere and you're getting pain in that thumb to start rubbing across, and you can go very hard after a while. And you can also go further up here if it's up in here.
Sure.
All right, let's go on to the first exercise we're going to do.
I'm only going 5 minutes myself. I'm not going 20.
Okay. Old man Syriacs, father of orthopedic medicine, used to say 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right, so the other one you're going to do, you're actually, again, have some support here, and you're going to put your thumb, this, by the way, is the test.
Yeah.
If you want to know if you have
The Quervains.
the Quervains, what you do is you put your thumb in here and you bend the wrist this way, and I'll tell you, you will have pain if that's the case. But this is actually going to be the treatment. What you do is put your thumb in there, and you're going to bend it to the point where you feel the pain, and then you're going to lift the thumb up and go up like this.
So are you going to go into the pain or just to
Bump
it?
up against the pain.
Just a little bit
Bump,
to
pain, up. Pain, up.
it. So we're just stretching those injured
Pain,
tissues
yep, up.
a little bit.
Pain,
Pain
up.
is the guide. No sharp
You can
pain.
even rub here a little bit while
Sure.
you're doing this. All right, I would do those for at least 10 times.
Yep.
And you could do that every hour if you want. That's just how often you could do that.
Assuming it should be feeling a little bit better.
Right,
As a result
exactly.
of it.
All right, later on, maybe a week later, it's starting to feel better, I wanna make sure it's not gonna come back again, or I wanna strengthen a little bit. Now you can take a weight, now this looks like a big weight, but it really is only, what's 3 pounds?
Yeah.
You can take a weight, I'd rather have you take something rather a little bit thin, I don't want you to take a soup can, you're grabbing too far out with that, this kinda keeps the thumb in. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna lower the weight, but the other arm's gonna lift it up for you.
Right.
This is eccentric strengthening. So you're gonna hold it, lower the weight, lift it, lower the weight, lift it,
Yeah.
lower the weight. I'd say a good 10 to 15
Sure.
times.
People that are into the weight room and really into weightlifting, they call these negatives as well.
Yeah, this
But,
does not seem like much weight, but believe me, this'll,
Yeah,
Help.
if you're recovering from.
right, you're gonna
keto,
feel it.
So,
Sinusitis or tendonitis, but we wanna get you back to your texting as soon as you can, cause Brad, how would we get by without it, huh?
oh, Bob, why?
All
Okay.
right, take care.